Welcome back from Nicholas to Christmas by debut author Kyle Poehls. This story illustrating how anyone, regardless of their status, can make a big impact. And Kyle is joining us today to talk more about his book. So, Kyle, this is something that we have talked about in the past, and you had some motivation from this, and some of it tied to your military experience. Can you kind of talk about that?
I can, yeah. It was actually a several pronged approach, and it was in 2016. The actually initial spark came from a rather cynical article that I just came across by happenstance, and it was written the night before Christmas. And the author really dove deep into kind of the science of things, expressing milliseconds and seconds, ounces and pounds, and it, really disheartened me. And that led me to the desire of writing the story from Nicholas to Christmas. Aiming to provide another way with which Nicholas can also deliver gifts, preserving that sense of magic and wonder in the holiday. But it was just merely a starting point for the story, and it just wasn't enough. But the true driving force came a few months after I read that article, where I experienced a rather significant turning point in my life. I actually went through a coma, and emerging from it, I found this renewed sense of purpose and clarity, compelling me to transform that dream into reality. So, you mentioned military, and being in the military at that time, and kind of going through that experience, the discipline almost went into overdrive. The discipline from the military, you have an objective, you do what needs to be done to accomplish that mission, and then you seek to accomplish that mission. So kind of that formula really helped, having that military background, this new outlook in life from these significant events. It was a match.
And what is it that you're hoping that people get from this book that you're trying to portray in it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's two things really. One was to kind of counter that article that I mentioned earlier, where you know families and children can look at Christmas in a different way. Maybe there is a different way to explain this magic. I mentioned several traditions why a Christmas tree is in a house with decorations, why coal is associated with naughty children. I set this book back centuries ago, but I wanted to kind of incorporate this storytelling for parents to have these, fun conversations with the children. So that's the first that's the first point. But the second is really that kindness is universal. It doesn't discriminate amongst classes, and it possesses this really unique ability to reach out and affect an individual here while also evoking that same emotion in another person thousands of miles away. So even though many of us, guilty myself, harbor this subconscious desire for drama, so much that some actually thrive on it, we universally cherish these, those feel good, warm hearted moments that really embrace, our lives, our very existence, whether we come across those moments, intentionally or just by chance. And, that's what I really wanted to show in this book.
Has writing this book sparked the inspiration to maybe work on another? Is there one that you might have in the works, or is this kind of a one and done thing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, there is another book I'm thinking of writing. I've been playing around with the title here and there, but the premise is a blend of fiction and personal history, personal experiences. So, as I mentioned, it all started in 2017, but from 2017 to 2019, I endured a series of very profound physical and psychological events to include, two comas, brain surgery, having to learn how to walk again, talk again. So my objective in this new book is to capture these events in a narrative, as true as my recollections, as possible. Um, but the book will follow a protagonist who's essentially thrust into a fight for survival while also struggling with a loss of memory. But he faces this struggle while discerning reality from illusion, questioning if the world he's currently in is real, if these flash memories that I have within this book are real, or if both are real. So, I'm not going to spoil anything because the end will reveal it all. but yeah, that's in the works.
Debut author Kyle Poehls with us this afternoon, joining us from Watertown. We appreciate your time. Also, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll be right back after this.
That's good.